So this weekend there's quite a lot of MMA events on with some pretty good prospects. So I'm sure there's other prospects I probably miss, but these are just three prospects I'm pretty high on. So I'm just going to talk about these prospects that are fighting this weekend. So I'll start with the fighter. Not that I'm less hyped on him. He's got a lot of hype. He's a very good fighter, but just the fighter I do know the least about this fighter, so I'm not going to give too much of a breakdown. But I am talking about Baihasango. Sorry, I'm going to really butcher this. Baihasango Chamsudinov. Nick, uh, his nickname is Baki. That is a lot easier to say, so I'm just going to refer to him as Baki. He's a Chechen fighter, but he does live and train in France out of the MMA factory, which isn't a good look because everyone knows of MMA factory. You know, Fernando Lopez isn't the greatest coach, but this guy Baki is like a natural talent, a very very good fighter, very talented, very good grappling. His striking is coming ahead as well. His striking is improving, but obviously his bread and butter is the wrestling. But he's very dominant. He's a welterweight, and he's got a really good opponent this weekend. Honestly, you could include his opponent on here too. 9-0 Felix Klenkenhammer, German fighter, was meant to be on Dana White Contender Series against Gabriel Bonfim, but obviously that didn't end up happening. But still, he's very solid. Bucky also did get his last fight done with the hands, so his hands are coming along very strong. But like I say, he is still more primarily a grappler, but still he's getting very well rounded. Has a very good jab, and yeah, very very good prospect. Only 22 years old. This guy is so fucking young. Like generally such a young guy, and yeah, someone to definitely keep your eyes out on. I think he is going to go very far. And like I say, he is Chechen. Five. He does not look Chechen though. That's one thing I want to say. He looks like he's from Kazakhstan. It's odd. Like he is Chechen, but like I don't know. He doesn't look Chechen. He doesn't look like any of the other Chechen guys. I don't know if he's like mixed or something. But yeah, that's just something I noticed. Uh, but yeah, he is Chechen. But yeah, very good fighter, very good grappler. He's friends with Hamza 2.0, Hamza Mayev. I see Hamza Mayev always shouting him out. Hamza Mayev just seems like a guy who's always shouting out all the other Chechens, though. They all seem to have a very tight brotherhood. So I guess if Hamza Mayev ends up in the UFC and Baki ends up in the UFC, we probably won't see that fight, but still, he's a very good fighter, and he'll be 9-0 with a win here. So Dana White Contender Series opportunity will probably come next year. Maybe gets another fight in between there. 10-0, very nice record. If that does end up being the case, and he'll be 23 next year. So yeah, that will be that'd make a lot of sense. That would be a reasonable time to get this guy in the UFC. But I'm going to move on to another prospect I am high on. So yeah, Bucky. He'll be fighting on Aries as well. Aries FC 17. So yeah, if you can give that one a check that one out. Because yeah, that guy probably will be in the UFC and he'll probably do really well. He does seem like a very good prospect. And yeah, like I said, keep your eyes out on this guy. Now moving on, another prospect that I am high on, and this guy's from Australia, so obviously I know a bit more about this guy. I'm talking, of course, about the welterweight Joseph Luciano, 8-1 against decent level competition. Did can crush a little bit, but then did start to beat a lot of better guys. And yeah, also at the same time, he's got a really long amateur career. Does have a win over a former UFC fighter, Darian Weeks, on the amateur scene. Like, you got to go look through his record. He has lost a few times in the amateurs, but like, he fought fucking so many guys. Angelo Rivera Jr., 12-5, beat a 2-1, 6-1, 1-0, 12-3 opponent, 2-1, 1-0. Like, he's beat really decent guys in the amateurs. He's got a very extensive background, and then in his pro career, only does have one loss. Who is that one loss to? Carlos Prates, who is now a UFC fighter, a very good fighter, very dangerous fighter as well. And he went to a decision with him. This guy rarely gets decisions. His last decision win in MMA was against Joseph Luciano, so it just speaks to. Actually, I think that might be his only decision win at all. So he's got two decision wins, and one of them is against Luciano. So that is pretty good. Luciano didn't get finished there. He is a very good fighter. Actually started out as a Muay Thai fighter, and now he's just a fucking heavy, hard wrestler. But he does have like a decently extensive Muay Thai background. He broke guys' legs once, which is fucking crazy. Literally, guy kicked him, did one of those Uriah Hall type checks, and the guy's leg just fucking snapped. But he's very good, very strong grappler. Very good jiu-jitsu, very good wrestling. Yeah, just very, very strong guy. And he does have some good striking as well. But his bread and butter is the wrestling. But Muay Thai background to start. The guy he's fighting, Jonathan Mikhaev, is a very good fighter in his own right as well. So, that he's also someone to keep your eye on. But I just think Luciano is going to get this one done. But hey, Mikhaev might just go in there and fucking prove me wrong. You never know. He is a decent fighter, and he, in his own right, undefeated as well. But I think Luciano gets this one done, and maybe another fight or two, and he'll probably be in the UFC. He is actually a really good guy, and he comes out of Absolute MMA, which is like like a really good gym right now. Like a lot of them guys are really looking good right now. Obviously, Jack Jenkins in the UFC, and yeah, there's a few other fighters from that camp, and they're all really good fighters. So he's training with some really good training partners, and yeah, I generally think this guy could probably go to the UFC very soon. But yeah, moving on to my last prospect I'm going to talk about is the fighter I'm most excited for. He's not close to the UFC, I don't believe, but I'm just super high on this guy. I can't fucking dick ride this guy enough, man. I know it probably gets annoying. I talk to literally everyone when I talk about my prospects. I always bring this guy up, and I'm probably so fucking annoying with it, but I'm generally so high on this guy. I think this guy is the next big thing. I'm talking about the human highlight reel, Harry Webb. This guy's style, very fun, very reminiscent of karate style Conor McGregor, but this guy's grappling is also very legit. He can wrestle to victories. He's got good jiu-jitsu, good submissions. Like, this guy's just good everywhere. 5'10" at lightweight, so, not a small guy for lightweight. He gets like a 71-inch, 72-inch reach, so decent reach for the weight class. He's powerful. He's got good cardio, at least from what I've seen. He completely masterclassed Oliver Schmidt, who is a good fighter in his own right from CKB. Good amateur career. And he didn't look tired at all in a really high-paced 3-round fight for his professional debut. None of the nerves got to him in that, that being his pro debut. Nothing. He seemed fucking fine out there. He was composed. He fights like a veteran who's had like 20 fights. Like, he looks so composed out there. He's generally just a good fighter, and he went out there and smoked Khan Usman, who was was a good amateur fighter as well in his pro debut, and he made Khan Usman look below average. Where I think Khan Usman's actually a really decent fighter. He beat really decent guys in the amateurs. He's 9-0 in total in pro and amateurs, and yeah, this guy's gonna go really far. Like, he's got very good hand coordination. Like, he got a spinning head kick to the face, and his hands were right back up there that it didn't completely hit him clean. But yeah, he's very fucking good, man. I don't want to keep going on too much and then jinx him, but I generally think this guy is going to go really far. If he's like I say, he's fighting this weekend. Nam Stevens, a very tough opponent. He's fought some of the best guys in the Australian lightweight scene, like Tom Nolan, who's now in the UFC, has a fight booked against somebody I know, but I'm not gonna say who it is just yet. And then Kulin Saukild as well, who's the eternal lightweight champion. So some really, fought some really decent competition. Obviously lost to them, but they are really good. So this will really show what level Harry Webb is on. If you can just go out there and smoke him, like the other two guys did, then yeah, he's definitely on that level. He's definitely on that Tom Nolan, Kulin Saukild type level. So it will be interesting to see, though, but I'm generally very hyped on this guy. I really hope I haven't jinxed him here, because Nam Stevens is very tough, but I just see Harry Webb being so technical, so slick with his striking. I can just see him going in there and brutally KOing Nam Stevens. But we'll see what happens, man. Nam Stevens, like I say, very tough fighter, very good test. His record doesn't look the cleanest, 3-3, but like against very tough competition. But I do think Kobe Porter is a bit of a level below the other two guys he lost to, but I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But yeah, these are my three prospects. Two of them are fighting on the same card, but Obviously Baki will be on that Aries FC card in France. So yeah, make sure you check all these fights out if you can. Obviously the Hex one you got to pay for, so but it's worth it. It's actually a really good card, and I think the card will age really well. I think there is quite a bit of UFC talent in fighting on that card. But yeah, that's all I've got to say, man. So yeah, these are my prospects to keep your eyes out on this weekend. So yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know if you know these prospects or if there's any other prospects I should keep my eyes out on, because I'm always looking out for new prospects to keep my eye on. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. So yeah, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, if you made it this far, just make sure you give it a like, please. I would appreciate it. But hey, if you don't want to, I'm not gonna fucking tell you what to do with your life. Uh, but yeah, like, subscribe. If not, fuck, here's what it is. But yeah, like I say, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.